All right, this is Nothing But Anarchy. I'm Chad Sanders. We're gonna get right to it. I'm not even gonna do an intro. Happy New Year. That's the intro. And here's how the new year started for the show, at least. I woke up this morning, like Tony woke up this morning, and I did what I'm supposed to do, which is I didn't check my texts. I got started preparing for the show. I only was texting with Morgan for most of the morning. And I went to Instagram because I spend a lot of time there right now. My job in 2024, guys, in addition to the other job that I have, which is writing and creating and making stuff and putting it out. My job is marketing, okay? That is my job. 2023, I will be, if I'm not already, one of those people who, if you love them, you are happy because they have so much stuff coming out, and you're going to see so much of them and their voice and them reminding you of this thing and that thing and do this thing and do that thing. And if you don't like me, then you will probably still stick around because that's how people behave. Honestly, that seems to be the way. But maybe you'll just be annoyed because of how much I'm present. But I got to do it. I got to do it because it's time. It's time to do it. It's shit's percolating. Shit's percolating. Yearbook. The final episode came out last week to much applause and also some criticism. And this year, I did 4 projects last year. I put this on my Instagram stories, but did 4 projects last year. Yearbook, Nothing But Anarchy, which is this show, which continues into the new year. Quitters. We had a season of Quitters that came out last year. And I wrote a new book, which I have not yet titled, but I will say that it is about... A major theme in the book is the concept of selling out, okay? And that's an important theme to me because there are many different ways that you can sell out. One way that you can sell out is you can become somebody different so that you can make money. You can try to make yourself into somebody different. I'll be more specific. The first thing that I ever wrote that blew up was a New York Times piece in the wake of George Floyd's murder. I was talking about how annoying white people were being. The next thing that I put out that did very well was my book, Black Magic, which was about lessons that black leaders learn from racial struggle. Basically, that's what the book's about. And I would say that both of those bodies of work, if we can call them that, it was very clear and very intentional that I was speaking a message that was, in one way, in defense of black people, for the New York Times piece, in defense of black people and our space and our feelings and what it is that I thought I actually needed to get by and get through a moment. And the second was, it spoke to empowerment. It spoke to what we could take from stuff that was difficult in our lives, what parts of those things we could take that we could use to our advantage to make something positive. How can you take something shitty and do something with it? That's what the book was about. And it included all these people's voices. And it came out in Black History Month, and I did a press circuit and went on all these big shows. And it was really, those two things together combined sort of put some wind in my sails. That's kind of like what got me going. Now, I'm going to tell y'all what selling out means to me. I was being coached by different sorts of people in my life. I was being pushed and prodded by other sorts of people in my life. I was being implored by people in the audience of both of those pieces, as well as corporations who wanted to pay me to come and speak, and other vehicles to basically become, like, for lack of a better word, some sort of like civil rights writer thing. Okay? And I was looking down the path of that as an outcome for me. And everything that I saw in it included fame, money, access, resources, platforms, and some dude in the middle of it that was not fucking me. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
An imposter.
Yeah.
Because that's not me. Like, I've tried to say this 100 different times, but I've been cute about it. Like, I'm an artist. I know how that sounds. I know the tone. You know what I'm saying? I know when people say that, it's like, God, why are artists always saying this thing? Because the point I'm trying to make is, like, I do my thing. Like, I say how I see something. I speak to my point of view. I'm not trying to fucking rally a crowd. Okay? An audience, yes. But that audience, I want to be attracted to me. Not fuckboy version of a civil rights thing that you guys want me to be. Who only says the thing that you believe in, who only speaks to the talking points and the most popular, buzzy, trending phrase of the moment. Like, that's never going to be me. Okay, why do I have this energy today? Because last night I put a reel out, as we do in promotion for this show. The reels are, I'm just going to pull the hood back. This should be obvious to people, but do I have fucking chaya in my teeth? Cheese. Okay. Thank you.
We wouldn't do you like that.
I mean, maybe you just couldn't see it. I don't know. Morgan, don't take that out. Leave it in.
No.
Okay, cool. Oh, you're going to make a reel out of it. All right. So, the reels that we put out for this show in promotion of this show are a very important vehicle to getting people from Instagram, YouTube, wherever my audience is, Twitter, time to time, over to podcasting platforms to listen to the show in its entirety. And I have been intentional and specific to Morgan, asking her, let's lean more into some of the more provocative points of view that I have when we cut the reels. However, and guys, keep me honest on this, I do not believe that I have once tried to stretch or bend my point of view to be more absurd, more eye-catching, more provocative in a way that I do not believe. Do you feel like you have seen me do that?
No.
No, I feel like everything you say is very in line with just how your brain works.
Thank you. And now that's an important point for me, because the point of view that was clipped in that reel was, I don't want movies from politicians, especially high-level politicians and former presidents. You guys are happy. Listen, some of you guys are happy to sort of like wander into a very scary place where politicians are making Netflix movies with like themes around the overall direction of the world in them. And you guys are just like, fuck it, I don't care how the sausage gets made. Just give me more McDonald's. Cool, man. I don't feel like that. And part of why I like doing shit like this on a visual medium, like where you can see me, you can hear me, you can see my face, and you can watch how it's moving around, is because I want you guys to know I'm serious as a fucking heart attack. I don't like that shit. When I found out that the Obamas produced that movie, I didn't really want to watch it anymore. Like, and as I watched it, at every moment of the movie, I resisted it because the fucking president produced it. Y'all think that's cool. I don't. I'm from Silver Spring, Maryland. I lived 30 minutes from the Capitol for most of my life. Many of my friends, parents, teachers, uncles, aunts, cousins, worked in politics at some point in their life, okay? I know that politics, it's just the game of power grabbing and who can I leverage to make what happen, to make the things happen that I want to happen. I don't want that shit in my movies. I don't want it. What I want is a singular individual auteur to tell me their point of view. I'm not going to do this whole respiel of the last thing that we did. Whatever. Let me get to the point. The point is this. This is why I started by saying I could have been cut my ear to the, to the crowd, civil rights writer thing boy, and just completely just kept grabbing the money and the platform to just go do the basic talking points and post it on my Instagram. Oh, you guys love me so much. I say the thing, blah, blah, blah. But if I don't feel that way, I can't say it. I can't put it down. I don't want to. I refuse. Now, somebody who I've never met, in the comments, first in the comments of that Barack Obama thing, then in the comments of my Zion reel, it's a couple of them. And I saw these by accident, okay, y'all? I go on Instagram. Instagram just has some feature that it just floats up shit. And I know it's intentional. It just floats up the shit that it knows will catch your eye. That's what it's trying to do. When I go to click the little heart to go see, okay, who just started following me? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? Which I do every day because I'm literally, you guys think you're watching me. I go and click those profiles and I go like this. And I look at your life and I'm like, okay, what is this person like? What do they do? Where do they live? Because I'm trying to understand how to give you what I have that you like, okay? But I noticed these people in my comments and their point of view is this. One was very specific. She said literally the words, I am disappointed in this content creator. That was her word. Extremely maternal. More maternal. Like, my own mom doesn't even say shit like that to me. I'm extremely disappointed in this content creator. I started following him because, and then, as I do, my eyes glazed over because I cannot actually, if you write a paragraph, I keep telling you niggas, I can't read. So if you write a paragraph, I can't read the whole paragraph. I can only get a sense of the tone of what you're saying. And if it's mean, then I'm not going to read it. And then I skim to the next spot in it. It says something like, he's more interested in stirring up mess. And then again, my eyes glaze over. Those are the two fragments of whatever it is that she had to say that was there. Okay? Now, let me go back to Civil Rights Boy, who y'all wanted me to be, who I am not. He would be in the business of reading that comment and responding and saying something like, I am focused on the issue of blah, 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 and it's important to me that yada, 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 and da, 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 and all this gobbledygook that you guys love. Not you guys listening, but you know these fuckers that I'm talking about. And here, let me be honest. When I read that, it shot through me. Like, I did feel like, oh, God, now I'm going to have to wake up with this tomorrow. Now I'm going to have in my head, damn, am I just interested in creating mess? Like, never mind the 99 gazillion thousand people over here who are saying, like, all these nice things about other things. Let me not do that whole thing. But, like, now I'm like, fuck, she's saying this thing and it hurt my feelings and blah, blah, blah. And I start texting Morgan. I'm like, oh, this lady said yada, yada. And Morgan gives me a pep talk on the way to work today, whatever. But, like, what it made clear for me was that I came into this one way, and as I have gained some confidence in it and some steam in it, people are actually starting to see me more as I am. Because anybody who fucking knows me would know I love stirring up mess. That's who I wanted. That's what I've been doing since I was a little kid. Like, and I don't mean like just to stir it up, just to like make a mess, just to watch it all play out. Like, I don't mean just to watch the world burn, like the Joker. I mean, like, if something seems awry, okay? If something smells last night, my dog goes in the basement, which is where she goes to hide from shit. And I'm like, what is she doing? There's no fireworks. There's no storm. Like, why won't you come upstairs? And then I realized 2 hours later, I have this fucking vanilla lavender candle burning that smells like gasoline. The dog thinks there's gasoline downstairs. And no matter what I do to try to bribe her with treats or command her or literally pick her big ass up and bring her upstairs to get her to sit and watch the football game with me, she won't do it because she smells something is fucked up. That's how I am. If something's fucked up, I'm going to poke it over and over and over and over until it lashes out at me in a way that makes me afraid, or until it changes. Like, that's it. So if you're disappointed in me for being who I am, then you should get the fuck. That's it. Like, you don't have to comment. You can. I can't stop you. Like, and in fact, those kind of comments, as we know about the internet, they increase my engagement. So if that's what you want to do, do it. But if you are disappointed and you feel like I was someone else and now I'm being this person, this is the real person. And if you don't like that, you're going to be madder and madder and madder over time. You and Shaq, okay? That is the end of this segment. Yes.
Do you want to go to music?
Let's play some music.
I can figure this out.
Let's play some music. Or I can keep going. I mean, let's see.
Up to you.
Let me have a sip of coffee. I'll keep going. Not on this. Enough of that. Let's talk about Dave Chappelle. Okay. Now, there's something that I had written down in my notepad that I forgot to say about Barack Obama making movies. And by the way, let me throw this out here. First cousin worked for Barack Obama for both terms. I voted for Barack Obama twice. I said this already on my Instagram, but just like the guy in Get Out, if he ran for a third term, I would have voted for him again. Generally speaking, I like Barack Obama. I just don't just like you guys shouldn't want me to be the president, I don't want Barack Obama making movies. That seems, it seems okay for us to have some districting around like art and state. Now, if Barack Obama is going to make movies, Barack and Michelle Obama, because I don't want to act like they're a unit and they are a company and they produced the movie in question. I'm not going to keep promoting this movie because I did not like it. They produced that movie together along with others. This is the other thing I want to say for the there were, I saw some other comments. One of them just straight up said, just fuck out of here. Another one said, like, this is individual growth. They were politicians. First they were lawyers and then they were politicians and now they're artists and blah, blah. I'm like, sometimes like, you guys love famous people so much. It is absolutely crazy. These people would not care about you and could not see you with the fucking binoculars, could not see the top of your head because they are so far and away above you in the socioeconomic ladder. And yet, all the way from down here, you think you have to defend them from my point of view. But if they are going to make movies, and I've said this before, and this is going to segue into a Dave Chappelle conversation, then let them face the same fate as every other fucking artist, myself included, where you put your art out and we consume it ravenously and we criticize it. Like, if you really take them seriously as artists, let them be artists. Don't try to stop people from like having a point of view on the thing that they made or what they're doing or what their propaganda or whatever. Like, let it happen. The same way you wouldn't jump in front of that train for me. You wouldn't jump in front of that train for, I don't know, Jordan Peele or Issa Rae or whoever. Like maybe. But let them be artists. They put some shit out. Let me criticize it. That's the contract. That takes me to Dave Chappelle. Morgan sent me a text yesterday. I was watching the college football playoff. She sends me a text and it says, I think it said something like, have you watched the Dave Chappelle special? I was like, which one? Is there a new one? And I was surprised that there was a new one, and I had not yet heard that there was a new one because generally speaking, I feel like I am within the demographic that a Dave Chappelle special buzzes around in almost immediately as soon as it's out. And it's like that demographic, I would say, is like a circle inside a circle inside a circle, right? Like I work in entertainment. I got friends that work at Netflix. I am black. I'm from a DC suburb. He did the special in DC. And I mean, there's so many other, like Chris Spencer is a mentor. Like I got friends that are friends with Dave Chappelle. This is where I should go here. I've been out with Dave Chappelle. Have I told this story already?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay. Stop me if I've told it, but maybe it's worth telling again. Say, a few years ago, I was sitting on the couch at 10-ish at night. I really feel like I've told this story, but maybe it was on direct deposit. And my friend Chris Spencer texts me. Chris Spencer, who's been a guest on this show, who is a writing partner of mine, a comedian, he was one of the creators, I believe, or executive producers of The Real Husbands of Hollywood, et cetera, et cetera. He texts me and he's like, yo, what you doing? I'm here in New York. Chris lives in LA. He's like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, I made some, I didn't make something up. I was like, I'm just sitting here. And he's like, whatever you're doing, put some clothes on and come meet me at, and it was, there's like maybe it was like the Soho Grand Hotel. There's some hotel in the Lower East Side that has a rooftop, but there's so many of these. So doesn't matter which one. He's like, yo, just come meet me in the lobby, like, of this hotel. And I'm like, well, what's up? Because at this point, I'm still newish to all this thing, but I am not so new that I just like jump up and go wherever because people will put you on a fucking wild goose chase. Not Chris, but like people. So I get up, I throw some clothes on, I call an Uber. I ride out to this hotel in the Lower East Side. And when I get there in the lobby, very fancy, like chic, kind of like trendy things are happening. Like you can feel sexy, coked up people like just vibing in this lobby. And Chris texts me or calls me again and he's like, yo, come over to the elevator. So I walk over to the elevator, like the little elevator thing, bank. Door opens. It's Chris. He has like, Chris is always seems to be in a good mood, but he has an extra like sparkle about him this time. And Chris is in his 50s, about 6'1", 6'2", bald-headed guy. I think like a very handsome, like the kind of guy you sort of want to be like when you're in your 50s, like that level of like springiness about him still and like enthusiasm about life. And he's just like so excited. He's excited about what he's about to walk me into. You don't know this story already?
I feel like you've told. I don't remember the details of it. I kind of, when you brought it up, like I kind of remembered some parts, but I don't really remember it.
So we get on the elevator, and he presses the penthouse button on the elevator. And it goes. Doors open, and we are already inside the penthouse suite of this hotel. Huge. I mean, the ceiling is like 3 stories high. There's a baby grand piano with somebody playing it in a corner. There's another guy like strumming at a guitar. There's maybe 15 people in the room, and among them are Dave Chappelle, Tiffany Haddish, Common, Mos Def, and then like a few other people I don't recognize, basically. Y'all, and Chris kind of like introduces me to the group, and everybody's chilling. Like, I mean, people are a few whiskeys in at this point. Dave Chappelle smoking cigarettes. These people are, as I can tell, they are real friends. They are kicking it. Like they are, they got their shirts unbuttoned, so to speak, and they're shooting the shit. And I say almost nothing because I'm like, I just one is like in environments like that, even today at this, like, I'm not the person that just walks in the room and starts talking. That's just not me, surprisingly. But they're kind of like taking turns shooting off jokes and stuff. Dave is the most clever. Mos Def is the most talkative. Common is very cool. I think he and Tiffany Haddish are like on a date or kind of together at that point. And Tiffany Haddish just has a big personality. She's drinking. But some point it gets around to be like, Chris kind of like cues me up to have something to say. He's like, tell him what this nigga Kanye said to you. Like, that's like his way of like bringing me in on the conversation. I deliver my little like Kanye talking point, and then it's off me. And I would say for the rest of the night, like, I might have exchanged 15 total words with any one of those people that I just named. But I was with them. We go, Dave Chappelle's wife is there. We go back down to the floor of this place. We jump into these Suburbans. The Suburbans take us around the corner to the Blue Note. They walk us in through a back door. We walk upstairs into like a VIP area. It's Robert Glasper is about to do his set. Like, he has his what's it called? His residency at the Blue Note. Yeah. We go downstairs, they like seat us right next to the stage, and then as Robert Glasper is doing his performance, each one of the people that I'm with takes a turn going up on stage and performing with him. Common first, then Mos Def, then Dave Chappelle, then Tiffany Haddish. Then performance ends, we go back up to the VIP. They have some more drinks. I don't even think I was drinking at this time. And more drinks, more cigarettes, some blunts. Like, they're having a good time. I'm entourage. And then we go downstairs, and I think we walk to the next place, which is it the Comedy Cellar? Is that the one that's in the basement?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Walk to the Comedy Cellar, sit next to the stage. It's me, Tiffany Haddish, Common, all sitting right here next to the stage. Dave Chappelle takes the stage with Mos Def, and Dave Chappelle gives a set that I would later then see on Netflix in a different venue. And afterward, we go to the bar, have some drinks. I get to chat a little bit with these folks, and I take this picture that I sent to Morgan last night where it's like, I'm like leaning over to Dave Chappelle. Again, this is before Dave Chappelle is in any way a controversial figure. And I'm like leaning over Dave Chappelle, like taking this picture with him. He looks like there are 100 million places he would rather be than next to me taking this picture. And I guess we'll just like throw that into the reel for this thing. That's my Dave Chappelle story. I have had no other interactions with Dave Chappelle besides this. But I watched his special last night. And this is the new experience for me of watching a Dave Chappelle special. It used to be totally unbridled enthusiasm. It used to just be like, wow, I'm about to watch something really good and really smart. That's how I used to feel about a Dave Chappelle special. Now, watching a Dave Chappelle special is like, it's a Rorschach test. It is a, like, I would say it is not a particularly present experience, is how I would describe it. It is not something where, it's not like sports, where I sit in my seat, I know who I'm rooting for, I know what I want to happen, and I just watch it play out, and I'm like, I love sports because it's meditative that way. It takes me out of my head a little bit. Watching a Dave Chappelle special is an extremely heady experience because I know, based on where I sit in the in the algorithm, I know I'm already breaking the rules by watching it. Like, I already know that. You know what I mean? Like, I already know. I've said this to y'all before. Like, I live in Queens, but my people are in Brooklyn. They are in the most they're like, depending on where you're watching this, think about the most liberal leaning person that you know. My friends are like the people that judge them for being too conservative. Okay? So I already know I have broken the rules by watching this special, by clicking. I asked Morgan in the car today, I said, Morgan, did you watch the special? And she said, no, I didn't want to give it any clicks.
And then you said that's so Gen Z.
I said, Morgan, that's so Gen Z of you.
She said it just like that, too.
She said it just like that. She said it like, there was like the lightest tone of like, how could you even ask me that? Like, did I watch it? I'm like, Morgan, you told me about it. So okay, so I already know from jump I have broken the rules. There's other layers here. Look what I do for a living. Stand in front of a camera and talk. Like, and it's evolved in that direction because I want it to go to the point of like me standing in front of an audience and talking. And I would say he is among the best 10 people on earth at doing exactly that, which is standing in front of a crowd of people, telling a story that captivates them and that takes them in a direction that he wants them to go with their minds. Excuse me. But when I'm watching the Dave Chappelle special, and I'm becoming more aware of like, let's call it accelerator and brakes, okay? I can feel that my brakes are on. I can feel that I'm tapping my brakes the entire time I'm watching it. Every word that comes out of his mouth, I am resisting going where he wants me to go because I have been told you must choose a side, and if I have to choose a side, I personally have to side with who seems to be being bullied. That's just who I am, okay? Because I feel bullied often. So I want to be on the side of the people who seem to be being bullied. And sure, it is possible that I am looking into a kaleidoscope that is confusing me, and I'm actually not certain of who's being bullied here, and all the things that Dave Chappelle wants me to believe about the fact that he is actually being bullied could be true, and I just can't see it right. But like, in this case, I'm sitting there watching and resisting because he's quite literally opening the show with letting me know I'm not going to stop punching on trans people. I'm not going to stop punching on gay people. Not going to stop punching on queer people. And he like throws out these light little jabs at other people, black people, Asian people, white people. But like, he wants me to be certain as viewer, I got these trans people in a fucking headlock. Like, that's what he wants me to know from the beginning. And I think in that way, he's almost telling me, if you don't have a stomach for that, leave. Like, it feels like that's what he's saying. That's important to me because you just heard me tell somebody to get the fuck on up out of here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's important. Like, resistance versus, like, gas versus brakes. People who are around my thing who got I watched, after I posted that Obama reel last night, I watched my follower count, like, just dwindle, like, just a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, some people got no time for that. You know what I mean? Some people are like, don't you say that about our Barry. You know what I mean? And they're like, I'm out. I want them out. I'm trying to, like, there's a faster way to a million followers and 1 million views. There is a much faster way. But when I get to a critical mass of a certain size of audience, like, I want that group to be solid. Like, I want that group to know exactly what the fuck I be talking about. Like, I want them to know, oh, I like him because he does this. And I think Dave Chappelle is making a decision in starting with the trans bullying that he wants anyone that makes squeamish to get out. This is where I think he's got himself fucked up. There was a time not that long ago where Dave Chappelle fled to Africa because he felt so surrounded by people who did not see him as human. Like, that is documented, okay? He felt like he was being laughed at and not laughed with. When you start your special by telling the people who feel squeamish about bullying to leave, those are, I'm not saying in every case, because there are many cases where this is not so, but a lot of those people, when you tell Morgan to get out at the beginning of your special, like, what kind of people do you want to sit in your room with you? Like, who are you telling to stay put? Like, and at what point, once I really think Dave Chappelle is doing this. I think he's caught in a loop. I think he's doing it again. I think he thinks he's whittling down the people that really fuck with him. But what he's really going to be left with, I kept looking at the crowd. They kept showing these shots of the crowd over and over and over again. He thinks that's his home base. These are the real fans. I'm from DC. These are my DC people. Bro, you haven't lived in DC in a long time, my guy. Like, it's different. Those people in that room, the next person who could be on the menu, Dave, is you, dog. Like, you're telling Morgan to get out? That's absurd. Like, that's the first person who's going to be there. Not you exactly, Morgan, but you're a really great person. But, like, that is the type of person who is going to be there to support you when something bad is happening to you. Why do you want them to leave? But the person who stays is me, because I'm curious and I want to know, like, I am holding space for the, like, probably because I'm a black man in my 30s from Silver Spring who used to look up to this person. Same thing I do with Kanye. I'm holding space that maybe this person will turn a corner that kind of brings them back closer to what I believe in. I can't say I'm praying for it, but I'm hoping for it because their art to me is so consumable and so powerful and so potent. But he doesn't do that. He does in the spirit of fairness. I am going to say he tells some really funny stories about Chris Rock. He tells some really funny stories about his experience watching what happened with Chris Rock. He tells some good stories about himself being attacked on stage and what that did to him and what that meant to him and what he felt. He does not stick the landing on the special. Like, did you watch it?
No, I haven't watched it.
The landing is, it's contrived and airy, and it just doesn't, same as the landing on the Chris Rock special. It's just like, huh? Like, that was the big finale. Like, that was the big finishing point. I don't know. No, I'm not going to stick the landing. I mean, because that's kind of like, that's what it left me with. It just left me with, like, Chad, if you are telling yourself, I only listen and watch Dave Chappelle specials over and over because I am trying to watch somebody who is remarkable at this craft do their thing so I can learn from it, so I can be challenged, so I can, consume something that is phenomenal art and see someone put such a strong point on what it is that they're trying to say. I cannot honestly say that to myself anymore because the last few times I have watched Dave Chappelle, divorced from the point of view and the bullying or whatever else, it just hasn't given me that. Like, I have not walked away being like, I used to walk away from a Dave Chappelle special being like inspired and kind of awed by, like, wow, he did that. And there were still moments, of course, there were moments where, like, a joke payoff was so great or so unexpected or just like his delivery was so strong. But yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like watching Jordan the way that it once did. All right, that's the end of that segment. Let's play some music. We got more shit to talk about. Did you have something to say, Josh?
Well, I was just going to say that, like, I feel like he's become a person that, like, for lack of better words, has become enamored with his new fans or new defenders. Mm-hmm. And it's like, sometimes it's like, I hate when I see this shit happen because it's like you have somebody who, now he feels like you said, like, now he feels like he has that persecution complex now that he's the person that's being bullied. And it's just like, I think, because I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be right there with you. I want to watch it because I still want to see Dave, and I'm still holding out hope and still holding space for hoping that he, doesn't continue punching down. But at the same time, it's just like, just a lot of people. I really just hate watching somebody as great as him, like, alienating people who have been watching him since, like, the 90s, like, been watching this dude be, like, the best ever, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Since the 90s. And, like, it hurts a little bit. And I feel the same way. Like, like, I'm going to watch it, but I feel how you described it as, like, I'm going to be there, like, sort of, like, clenching my teeth a little bit, being like, what is he about to say? I'm still going to watch it based on what you even told me on the front end. So,
yeah, I think also there's an element there. The the friends who exclusively the friends who ever text me about a Dave Chappelle special are black men in their 30s and who I think have, and I relate to this in some ways, I think there are many ways people develop a response to feeling bullied in their life. And some people form a response that is submission. You know, I'm going to try to make myself as palpably weak so that maybe people will have mercy on me because I am so weak. I think some people form they form an identity around like, I'm going to make myself so likable to the bully that I will get to stand next to him so that while he is doing his bullying, I will never be in the eye of his ire. I think some people form an identity of resistance where it's like, fuck that, I'm going to fight the bully, even though the bully is scary. And then I think some people develop an identity of like, what would this be called? Emulation. I'm going to find somebody to bully. Bullying looks fun. I see the look in their eyes. They bully me. They look so powerful. They look so strong. And I do think that some people in my life who really love a Dave Chappelle special, they love it because it's like their one chance they feel like to get off on that feeling of like, I'm like the bully. I'm with him. Like, finally, you know what I mean? Finally, somebody's foot is off my neck and we get to put it on someone else's and see how that feels. And like, I have tried out that experience and it doesn't feel good. It feels shitty. It doesn't feel good at all. It feels ass. Like it feels like poison going through your veins or whatever. So I have no good landing point for this, but here's where I will land once again. That lady who was disappointed in me, get the fuck, come on, unfollow and get out of here. Don't try to DM me because I'm gonna block you. That's it. All right, let's play some music. No, that's a really good point because
We're back.
we're back. All right. I forgot I wanted to talk about kind of this specifically.
Yeah,
Okay, so
it's strange.
please, Josh, what did you say when the camera?
So
was
when
off?
the first segment to me was so weird to me because I was just like, it's a real strange hill for both you and your detractors to die on. Because I was like, I was really. I'm like, I'm okay with you having a different point of view because I kind of agree with them, but I don't agree so strongly where I'm just like, oh my god, like it's
You're
just
disappointed in me.
I'm disappointed. I'm like, to me, I'm just like, maybe I didn't hear your point more clearly, or I'm not understanding it, but it's just like I'm not quite understanding, like, because the funny thing is, I'm just like, what if the Obamas, similar to you, they're like, maybe we don't want to be viewed as just like the only black, they're the first black president, presidential family. Like maybe they've always wanted to produce
We want to
movies.
be like Spielberg.
Yeah, and I don't see, like, personally, I don't see a problem with that. But on the flip side, I'm just like, so like seeing you so strident about like not having people in power, and I'm thinking
Okay.
and I'm thinking about Hollywood in general. I'm like, all it is people in power making moves. So,
And I never say nothing bad about them. No, so okay.
So yeah, explain your point.
No, well said. So there's a couple things that I want to be totally precise on, right? I know that there is nothing I could possibly do to stop the Obamas from making movies.
Mhm.
Like, my point of view is I do not want their movies because I wish I could say it was more intellectual, but like it was a feeling. When somebody told me that the Obamas produced that movie, it was like like I just went dead inside. I was just like, oh man, like I thought I was about to watch something dope. I thought I was about to watch something cool and interesting. And then it was like, no, this was made by like I can't, there's no good joke for it. It's literally the president. Like anything else that the president makes, like I'm not that interested in consuming it personally. That is a personal choice.
Okay.
So when this person became like, even in that reel, if you look at it, like what I think is, go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
But what if he wants to just greenlight, some people who want to make movies dreams? Like
I can't stop him. I can't stop him. If the president started making, what's your favorite food?
That's a good question. Damn.
Morgan. Bread?
Yeah.
Okay, if the president started making bread, would you eat his bread?
Maybe if it was good.
Okay.
Maybe
I just have a different relationship with the idea of politicians, which is one of distrust, honestly. So, but let me get to the point here. If you watch that reel, like, as compared to some of our other reels, like, I'm not yelling. Am I even standing? I can't remember. Am I standing or sitting?
I think you're standing.
But I'm like messing with my rings.
It didn't feel that serious.
No, I'm not like, I'm just saying, like, I'm good on movies made by the president. Like, that's a personal choice. Now, where you see stridence is like, excuse me, I was personally offended by her reaction.
Yeah.
Which is like, she's disappointed in me.
Yeah, that's a bit
because
much.
I'm like, I'm like, what? I'm like, who are, like, but let me pan out. Let me zoom out. What's more important here is, like, what's most important here is the phenomenon of, I knew so strongly that reel would do well. Like, I knew it, and it's probably doing as well as our best reels at this point, because I haven't boosted it yet, and it's got over 10,000 views, and like, it's doing great. Like, and it's going to continue doing great because of the subject matter, because of the point of view, because it's controversial. Now, knowing that it's controversial, and it is my point of view, I mean, that's lucky. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not contrived. It's not like this person is saying she thinks I'm creating messes on purpose, and in a way that's true, but where it starts is like, this is how I actually feel. This is a moment from my actual life. I was getting ready to watch this movie, and that completely killed my boner. And then once the reel is made, I'm like, oh, dope, we got something here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put this shit out. Like, I think, Morgan, I believe we were going to make something else, or maybe we made it, but I called you back, and I was like, oh, we got to do the Obama one. And then last night, before we put it out, I was like, I watched it and I was like, I'm really tickled by this reel. Because, like, I knew it was going to do good. That's like, come on, man. Like, what are we here for? Like, this is what we're doing. But I have to decide. I have to decide it right now. I got a DM this morning about like something I said about something else months ago. Like at this point, months ago, I believe, a couple months ago. And the person wants to talk. They like want to have a dialogue about it. And they are like strongly affiliated with the thing itself. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I have to decide, and this is gonna get into our New Year's segment. Like, I have to decide what is my relationship going to be with how people react, because people, it's still, as much as it's true, it is still not in my head yet that people can hear me. It's still, every time it happens, I am surprised. Every single time I'm like, what? Like, they heard this? Like, they really care about this? And then I'm like, now I have to like respond or not respond or whatever. And it's like, I don't know what's going to get it through my head, because I think I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Like, I think everybody can relate to this who is trying to create right now, especially the people who are on the front end of that process. Like, dude, you spend so much time writing, speaking, filming, making things that nobody sees. Like, you spend so much time trying to get your shit off, sending it to email addresses that never respond, sending it to friends who give you a boilerplate response and pretend like they watched it but didn't, sending it to the person themselves if it's about somebody, sending submissions to all these different publication aggregators and like journals and online magazines. You spend so much time making shit that nobody can see or hear. And then it just happened to me. All of a sudden, it turns a corner and it's like, people actually care. People, it is actually affecting somebody's day, what you wrote down or what you said out loud into a microphone. And it's like, how do I go from 8 years of building up this tolerance for the rejection that is ignorance. Is that a word? No, that's ignorance. What is, sorry, let me try it again, because this might be a good reel. Okay. I have built up 8 years, 6, 7, 8 years of tolerance for the rejection that is apathy. And now all of a sudden, it switches on you so fast. Like, now all of a sudden I have to develop like a different kind of, like a different resistance to the reaction that is, what's that pearl clutching word? Basically pearl clutching. Like, oh, I can't believe you would say Barack Obama shouldn't make movies. I'm like to Josh's point, is that ridiculous of a thing to think?
I'm like, to me, it was just like, I mean, part of the reason why I reposted the reel was because I was like, this is to me, I thought it was kind of like a strange point that you made, but I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I thought. I was like, I never thought of it that way,
yeah.
But like,
but I didn't think you were like so, like, I didn't perceive it as you being like so strident and serious about it, but that reaction from people, because I read a few of those comments and I was just like, oh wow, people are really responding to this.
And that, to me, I think that is actually probably what I am resisting, which is blind, fanatical, obsessive connection to a public figure. That is not about me saying politicians shouldn't make movies. That's about, don't you dare say that thing about Barack Obama. And like, I mean, I guess, man, if that's how y'all feel, like, I guess, man, like,
yeah, just the expectation that you're gonna like everything that somebody is going to say at all times, 24/7, 365, is an absolutely like ridiculous thing.
Yes, and as I was processing it, I was also processing, like, you know, Morgan said this in the car to me, and I'm glad everybody's not like this because it's good for engagement. But she's like, I don't think I've ever commented on a stranger's page. Somebody sent me a tweet the other, and I also don't think I have ever done that. Like, somebody sent me a tweet the other day that said, it said something like niggas will wish LeBron James a happy birthday, but won't support their best friend. Like, that's a fact. Like, that is weirdo shit.
Is really,
like,
that's true.
I promise you, Barack Obama does not need you defending his right to make movies. But thank you for doing so, because I do think it also brought other trolls to that post, which has continued to blow up the engagement. All right. Let's talk about masculinity, because we're on a roll here. So Something I noticed in the Dave Chappelle special was he kept saying, I would say around the 3/4 mark, he was starting to ramp towards his ending, and he kept saying, like, painting pictures of a man does blah blah blah, and a man does this, and a man does that. I'm not about to I've done my whole segment on, like, all of that shit is so silly. Like, we have built a Mickey Mouse character as what a prototypical man is, and it is all these characteristics that most men do not exhibit. So what are we even talking about? Like, what are we even doing? And then the final musical cue on the special was, it ended with I can actually hear the words coming out of my mouth, and, like, I do get why the unks be mad at me. Like, I do. Now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, damn, they probably do think I'm, like, being an asshole, but that part's also crazy because, like, I'm such a good hang. Morgan, do you think I'm a good hang?
Yeah, you're a fun hang.
I'm nice to people. Sorry. Do you think I'm nice to people?
Yes. Like, sorry. No,
That was convincing.
No, sorry.
Okay. Maybe I'm not.
No, you are nice to people, but I think, like, yeah, then you come on the mic and you're kind of like, you go off on people as well.
But in real life.
Yes, no, in real life, day to day, you're very nice.
Thank you. Not convincing. Whatever.
No, oh my god.
Okay, here's the point. The point was about man stuff. What's our man topic thing on the docket? I'm just reviewing what Dave Chappelle was doing with
the
man.
Silicon Valley article.
So the final musical cue on the Dave Chappelle special was I think it's called The Man. I think that's the name of the song. You could tell everybody I'm the man, that song.
Oh yeah, by Aloe Black.
Yes, by Aloe Black. I didn't know who. I thought that was the other guy. No matter what the people say, Okay, whatever. There was this thing came out. What was it in, Morgan? Vox?
Yes. Do you want me to read the title?
Please.
Silicon Valley's very masculine year. Ravenous, carnivorous, and totally yoked, how men in tech have evolved.
So, all right. How do I talk around my receiving of this piece? Did you send me that piece, or did I send it to you?
No, you sent it to me.
Where did I get it?
I don't know.
Leon sent it to me. I think Leon sent it to me. So, thank you, Leon. This was a piece about how the leadership in Silicon Valley, specifically white boys. Yeah, this is the other thing. Is like, sometimes I'm like, damn, I'm really getting my shit off on some black folks sometimes. But then I'm like, if these people spent 10 seconds reviewing my catalog, they would be like, oh, but he really gets his shit off on white folks. So, like, just let me cook. Just let me do my thing. Okay. So, I don't see color, dude. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, so what's the writer's name?
Zoe Bernard.
Zoe Bernard is writing that the Silicon Valley CEO character and all of his minions, chief marketing officer and chief financial officer and COO, that thing as caricature has morphed from, as she describes, Jack. What's Jack's last name from Twitter? Dorsey. It is more from, like, this kind of willowy, I don't know what the word is, kind of like feelings centered humanitarian leader. And Sheryl Sandberg, who she describes, by the way, she's really trying to make this point because she describes Jack and Sheryl Sandberg in very complimentary ways, but, like, that's not the point of where I'm going here. But just take that on its face, is that she's really trying to set up a dichotomy here, because those two people are not mentions in any regard. But she's saying that the leader of Silicon Valley, the leaders in these Silicon Valley companies have morphed from those things into what Elon Musk is trying to present himself as, which is like these, like, draconian, buff, MMA fighting, jiu-jitsu. What's Brazilian jiu-jitsu called? Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Like, just these, like, cavemen guys, like cavemen dictator guys. And Mark Zuckerberg is doing fighting sports and posting photos of himself with black eyes, and, like, she's showing how the movement, the quote unquote, like, movement that a lot of lip service was paid to making Silicon Valley a more welcoming place for women in leadership, people, black people, I guess Latinx people, other archetypes of leadership. That movement is dead, is what she's saying. And it has been replaced by almost a counterpunch to that movement that has been more strong and more powerful, which is these white dudes who be going to the gym and eating 5,000 grams of protein every day, like just turning it into a dick swinging contest, basically. Like, does that feel like the right paraphrase? Okay.
Yes.
Read the piece, all right? It's in Vox, if you want to. And it brought a few things to mind for me. One, sorry. Morgan writes time code. I'm cold. I'm gonna button my shirt because I'm cold. One is the shape, the casing of this archetype can keep shape-shifting from a skinny, nerdy white guy with a hoodie on. And like, I used to work at Google. For anybody who's really new here, I used to work at Google. I worked there for the first 4 years of my life after college. That is where that was the, man, did I drink the Kool-Aid in the beginning. Like, that was like the first lens placed over my eyes to see the world with after college. I thought Google was like the coolest fucking place on earth. I thought, man, did I think these bros with like their little cargo shorts and their t-shirts and their hoodies and their whiteness, I thought they were so just, I thought I should try to just be like them. And because it looked like their lives were perfect. Like, they got promoted. They had nice they had nice apartments. I didn't realize their parents were floating them. They knew they had this language amongst themselves that they could speak to each other to like form their little club. And then like anybody who wanted to be a part of their club, I'm talking about my coworkers, bosses, colleagues, all of them. Anybody who wanted to be a part of their club had to like sort of bend themselves to placate and make them like them. So I watched like the women that I worked with do that. I watched the other guys who were of other colors do that. I watched them themselves, be more like themselves to be a part of that culture. And it was a culture that got celebrated in the media. Like, Google won Best Place to Work year over year over year. And truly, like, there was a movie made called The Internship, I think it was called, with, the guys from Wedding Crashers. Like, it was celebrated. It was like, wow, this is the way to be. This is so cool. This is so neat. Look at this culture. It's like a frat house, but it's work. And people thought that was awesome. And then it started to seep out through Twitter and journalism and, books like mine. No, these places actually suck, because no matter how much the culture shifts from like the Wall Street bro with a Patagonia vest on to the Silicon Valley bro with khaki shorts on, like, that is the same dude, it's just Mr. Potato Head with the different arrangement of limbs and features, but like, it's the same guy. And now that guy has muscles. And now that guy who like was already an asshole when he had on a t-shirt, now he's just ripped with a fucking Henley on, but like, that's the same dude. And I guess what I respond to in this piece, where I think this piece misses the mark, is that it supposes that the Jack Dorsey sort of figure or the Sheryl Sandberg sort of figure was propping up something that was in some way different than like what I'm looking at with Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. It's like, it's almost glamorizing an era that never was. There never was an era of Silicon Valley where like I worked there. I came to Google when Google was like 11, 12 years old, man. Like, there never was an era of Silicon Valley that was inclusive. There never was an era of Silicon Valley where white guys didn't make the decisions. Like, that never happened. Never happened there. Never happened in Hollywood. Netflix is a tech company. Max is a tech company. If your media company is not a tech company, it will die. So the tech culture is now in this industry as well, and much the same. Like, these people are the same as those people. They just have muscles now. Like, so I think there are ways that you can. It is common in writing for someone to glamorize a future that will be, like a path that we are on. But, and I have witnessed this in my actual life, it is happening right now. Another way that people can whitewash story is by trying to change the past. Like, another way that you can fuck with how people see things is by trying to change their memory of what already happened. I just did an 8-part series that features many people's memories, yearbook, of something that happened. And now, everybody who has a way that they want it to be now or want it to be in the future has a sensibility to want to change those memories of how shit happened. And I think in this piece, maybe with the best intentions, she got that part wrong. Like, she painted a picture of a Jack Dorsey who was some kind of... Jack Dorsey sold his company to Elon Musk. Like, we wouldn't be here with Elon Musk without Jack Dorsey. Like, it wasn't a hostile takeover. He sold the company to him, and he told us everything was going to be all right. And it's not all right. So, thank you for your contribution, Zoe. Better next time. All right. Oh, that was a little mean. Is that what you mean?
See, that's what I'm talking about.
But I mean, like, you write something, you put it out. What's a better thing to do? Lie?
No.
Well, how then? Why
You
is it
say,
mean?
thank you for your contribution, Zoe, and you end the sentence there.
Okay, but like, okay. Let's stay here for a second, though. Do you think like we should be? Do you think we like? If Rihanna makes an album that you think is bad, do you think we owe it to Rihanna to be like, oh, but she tried so hard. Good try, Rihanna.
No, but she's not Rihanna. Rihanna's a bad example.
Who's a good example?
You have to find some like indie artist.
If I write a piece that comes out in Time magazine and you think it sucks, do you think someone owes it to me to be like, oh man, but he really tried his best? Like,
I don't think they owe it to you. No.
just what do you think?
No,
Morgan?
like I think if someone wants to criticize you, it's exactly what you just said, which is you're putting it out there. So, sure. But you asked me if you were nice, and I said you are in real life, but on here, sometimes you
Get a little spicy.
yeah.
I don't think you're really criticizing what she said, to be honest. It's just like, it's like she got it mostly right, but not, she got it like 75 or 65% right.
Yeah, okay. I think her blind spot was...
She had a blind spot.
I think her blind... What, Morgan? What?
No, this conversation is just funny.
Okay, like, I think her blind spot was where it was, which is like... It's like, oh, like Sheryl Sandberg was the one that was fire? Like, you don't say, Zoe. But anyway, that's the end of the segment. Okay,
All right.
Thank you. Do you know if Valentina has ever listened to this?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, Valentina, if you're out there, I just want you to know that other people call Morgan Morgs, and it's not special for any of us. And so, if you're like me and you want to have your own nickname for Morgan, you got to choose a different one. Or I guess I have to choose a different one. Okay. Morgan, can you tee us up on this next topic, please?
So, I was on Facebook and I saw this post about a woman asking if it's okay for viewers to ask if she's engaged because she talks about her boyfriend on her show. And everybody was kind of like, yeah, I mean, if you're going to talk about your personal life on the show, then that kind of opens the door for people to ask you about it. So then I asked you, like, how you feel about sharing or, like, about people asking you things about your personal life that you might bring up on the show. Because I feel like I learn way more about you through your projects than I do from actually talking about you in person.
Which is funny because I talk to you multiple times a day.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, we only talk about work. Also, like, I'm always conscious of you always sound like you're in the middle of something. So I'm like, I don't want to take up too much space being like, yeah, so I read this thing. But all right, here's the real thing here, because this has come up a few times recently in my life where people who I care about are like, they're basically like, how can I even characterize this? I think what they're telling me in different ways is they're saying, like, just because you have said something into a microphone doesn't mean that you have said it to me. And so, but at the same time, like, they often hear it from something else that, like, something I'm working on. And so they do have the information, but we have not specifically had the conversation. And I'm honestly trying to like de-thread it, whatever that means. I'm trying to like figure out what to do with that, because when I come up here to do this, or I have a new thing that I'm starting that will be announced on the 8th, which I think is Monday. And some other, like, just everything I do, a lot of the product, a lot of the content, a lot of like the artistry comes from what am I actually going through, what's actually on my mind. And once expressed, like once the impulse has gone through me and shot into a microphone, I don't have the same, a lot of times I don't have the same verve for it to when I do it again later. It's like, I almost feel like I'm like, it's like the first sip of soda is so much better than like the 20th sip of soda. It's like that. It's like, I don't have the same passion for the thing that I'm saying as I did when I did it here. And it's hard for me to manufacture it again. Or vice versa in some cases. Like, a lot of times, even in this room, like, before we start the show, I try to, we'll try to keep the conversation in one place, because if we start talking about what I'm going to do up here, I might lose the threading on it. So I don't know what to do about that just yet. I don't think that an audience has, I mean, if that person is engaged and she doesn't want to share that, I think that's her own prerogative. Like, she doesn't owe anybody any information about her personal life. I feel strongly about that. Excuse me. But I'm sorry, Morgan.
It's fine.
I don't have ginger. I don't have like any seltzer water, but I ate a pizza last night though. I did. Okay.
Does that lead to anything New Year's related?
The pizza?
No. You not knowing how to handle retelling stories to people.
At the very end of last year, I did a few things that I think were smart. They were reactionary, but I think they were smart to like protect my space and my privacy. And man, like people really will try to find so many workarounds for those things, but I have felt very peaceful for the last couple weeks, like having different boundaries talk, having different boundaries with like people. I you know what, ultimately I want to protect my personal space, and I want to protect like my brain from everybody's, we all have this, like from everybody's like nagging wanting of things, like I want your attention right now, I want your reaction to this, I want your response, I want you to watch this, like whatever. But also I want to protect like this dynamic. If I always feel like, if I was listening to SZA on Zane Lowe, and she was talking about like being perceived, which felt like some very millennial language there, but she was talking about being perceived, and she was talking about how it can ruin her experience with the audience when she goes and stands in front of them if she has spent too much time in her day already being around other people who are asking her to be somebody different before she gets up there. So in so many words. And I think the part of that anybody can relate to is like, this feels like a place where I can be totally honest in a way that you just cannot be in that exact same way with in a one-on-one conversation with a person. Because if you see that they need something, like if their body language tells you like, oof, I need you to like slow down the train right here and not say that thing that's coming next. Like if you're me, you just don't say it. Like if you're me, you just watch that person wilting, or you watch that person like armoring up to like fight you back or whatever. And you just like, if you're me, and I think a lot of writers are wired like this, you just don't say it. You just let it float away. And I'm trying to protect like having this space where I can actually say what I mean. Like I just did about Zoe. Like and I don't want to like, I don't want to lose that. I was actually laughing because when I'm on the way here, most of the time, I would say 80% of the time, I'm like happy. I'm like giddy. I'm like giggling to myself about like all the clever things I will say and all the like funny things that are in my head that I feel some kind of way about, because like I get to like get them off, and it's so fun. And like, I was thinking today as I came off of reading those comments that were so mean, I was like, first of all, I was like, you guys are so mean. And then I was also like, literally, I was just like, God damn, you guys are just mean. Like, are you okay? And then I was like, you guys want me to be sad and poor. Like, you guys want me to be sad. You don't want me to have this fun car ride where I get to think about the funny shit I'm going to say or the interesting things that are in my head. You don't want me to have that. And you don't want my show to grow, because the only way the show grows is if we have a distinct point of view in the show. Like, the only way said differently, the only way, in my opinion, the only way the show grows without some huge studio behind it, like throwing marketing dollars into it, like the only way it grows is if people know there's something here that is scarce, that they can only get here. And that has to be my actual point of view. But no, you guys want me to fucking come up here and like, I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. Like, you want me to not say Charles Barkley and Shaq stop bullying Zion Williamson, I guess. And I'm like, why? You guys fucking love famous people that much? Why? So I don't even know what the fuck I was supposed to be talking about, but I'm back on this now. Like, you guys are really mean. Like, that's so mean. The whole world loves it when you don't get down. You don't want me to have, that's why Khaled says that shit. They're like, they don't want you to have a pool as big as Kanye's. You really don't want me to have that. That's crazy. I want you to have that. I don't know. Do you feel me or not? Do either of you guys feel what I'm talking about? I'm just like, why do you not want me to have a good time?
No, I feel that.
You don't feel it.
No, I do. People go out of their way to just comment things.
What? And I'm like, it's just really mean. So stop being so mean. Like, stop being so mean. Like, I'm not even, ugh. Okay, what do we want to do with these last 7 minutes?
Sports.
Sports.
We didn't talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
any sports.
Fuck. All right.
Just watch out for your new defenders that come along at some point in time that might change you.
when they're mean to others
No,
to defend me?
yeah.
Yeah, then you have
I
people
like
fighting
that.
in the comments.
Hey man, I
Don't
want
be
them.
mean to Chad.
Do it. Yes, exactly. I need a counter force to okay.
Do you understand
Sports.
why Kevin Durant made a burner account now?
No. No, I do not respect that.
He's like, I ain't with that.
No,
Yeah, I'm with
I
that
feel
either.
even less about that. I'm like, no, man, that's like he made a burner account to do what they're doing. Like he was acting like them. Like I don't like that. So, okay, I don't like that. Courtney Robinson used to say that all the time. I don't like that. What was I going to talk about? Sports. Oh, was that a Kevin Durant sports segue? Was that what you were
Oh
doing?
no!
That's what I thought you
Oh
were
yeah,
doing.
you know.
What all right, sports. So we're gonna try to keep sports in this show somehow. On the way to work, I was just like, Morgan, can you just lob sports at me and see what I can come up with here? Sports. College football playoff. College sports. I don't know.
March Madness is coming soon.
That's like 2 months from now, Morgan. Oh my God, Morgan, that's not soon.
Okay, yeah, but I'm excited.
Actually,
Okay, great.
what's it called? To help filibuster here, can
Yes.
what's it called? Do you actually enjoy? So you said you watched the college football playoffs.
I did.
What do you make of them now? Like, do you still like? Do you watch them every year? Do you enjoy them?
It's like, it's not an enthusiastic enjoyment process. No,
Yeah.
I don't. College sports just really doesn't do it for me. Like, not on TV, maybe live, but it's like, I like watching Michael Penix. He's fire. Like, he's the quarterback of Washington. They're in the championship. I want the Vikings to draft him. The Vikings are my favorite team. I actually, as much as I feel like I would feel uncomfortable if I was there, I do like seeing the tribalism of the college sports teams, like of their fans.
It's like tribalism, the most extreme tribalism of sports.
It is. And like they like bring out animals and mascots, and there's like it's really tribal in a way that feels there's a different energy around college kids than like adults being tribal and fanatical, which so there's some of that, but like the gameplay itself, I'm just like, I like watching the best people in the world do it.
I tell this to people all the time. I'm like, why would I watch the second best people in the world do the
Right.
thing?
When there's adults doing it at a higher level. Like, but is that mean, Morgan? Should I say
I mean, I'm a college athlete.
You were.
So...
I would love to watch Morgan play volleyball. I bet that's a dynamic experience. But yeah, it just doesn't. I don't know. No, thank you. What else can I say about sports? Hold on, I can do this, guys. I mean, the Lakers are not good. There's always LeBron content I can do, but no, thank you. Maybe let's just move on. I haven't done any questions on Instagram lately because I just needed a break. But
Are you excited about OG Anunoby?
Okay, I'll do some OG Anunoby content. So the New York Knickerbockers made a trade. Here's the actual thing to talk about here. They made a trade for OG. OG is someone who's been in trade rumors for like 4 years now. He's British. I just think that's always interesting when there's a black British guy to talk about in the NBA. And he is a better player than RJ Barrett, probably by like 20%. He's a more consistent outside shooter. He gives some floor spacing. They really just need space on the court for Jalen Brunson to do his Jalen Brunson thing, and for Julius Randle to like do his four jab steps and then step back mid-range jumpers that are so inefficient but somehow go in all the time. But
I hate watching
the Knicks. This is the thing though. Because we talk about these big markets as though like you just go to a big market and if you're a really good player, it'll make you a superstar. That's not true. Like Jalen Brunson is very, 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 very good player. Like he's probably going to be second team All NBA, maybe third team All NBA. And he's not like some big star. It's not like Jalen Brunson has a bunch of marketing contracts right now. He's He's shooting like 47% from the 3-point line, which is he's going ballistic. He's like 25, 6 and 4 or something like that are his averages. They're a playoff team. They won a playoff series last year. He was awesome in that series. He was awesome in the following series. And it doesn't mean what it once meant. The game digitally, there is more of a democracy around the league in terms of stardom. It is easier to become a superstar in Memphis or in Denver or in Portland or wherever you are than it used to be. The big market doesn't matter anymore because it's a global market. Like if somebody tweets from, I don't know, from Brazil or Nigeria, like that tweet can get just as much traction as a tweet from New York City. So like, who cares? It doesn't matter that NBC is here. It doesn't matter that 30 Rock is here. It doesn't matter that, CNN and Viacom and all these other companies are like based here. The power, like that's the financial power is there, but the actual like market power is distributed to all of our phones, and that's the important part. So I don't think the Knicks are going to get to win on being in New York City. I mean, they haven't won on being in New York City in ages, but like, it's not the answer anymore. It's not the thing that's just going to make a superstar want to come here because they're going to have so much exposure. It's like you can go on the biggest podcast from your couch wherever you are. So
unless you're a CAA client, then they'll be here.
Oh yeah, I mean, so that's the other thing to know
They'll
is OG Anunoby. Damn, that was the better angle. OG Anunoby's his agent is the son of the Knicks president. And so OG Anunoby probably always knew he would end up a Knick, and it was just a matter of time. And that is an important part of the relationship side of all this stuff. But I don't have time to get into it right now. So this has been Nothing But Anarchy. I didn't do this at the top. Please like and subscribe on our YouTube page. Please rate and share our podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever else you listen. I am at Chad Sand on Instagram. Morgan is at Moby Williams. Why are you laughing?
No, I just always think it's funny that you plug my Instagram.
Yeah, because if you want to reach the show, reach out to Morgan. Moby Williams, Moby Williams. Do you get any followers from this?
Oh, I've gotten a couple, yeah.
Okay, so follow Morgan and DM her if you have something to say to the show. If you don't like me, go away.
But keep commenting.
But keep commenting. Just be yes. And also, like most of you all, just to be clear, I'm so grateful for the support. And I know you all are not the ones who are out here telling me you're so disappointed in me in my comments. But that's it. That's Nothing But Anarchy. Go stream Yearbook. Go listen to Yearbook wherever you listen to podcasts. All 8 parts of that series are out right now. And I will be announcing my next project on January 8th, which is Monday, which is my mama's birthday. And she will be in New York, I think. So anyway, that's it. Goodbye. Thank you.